Please note that the following views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society. Nothing here is ever to be construed as hate, medical, nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the realpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way, somewhere out there, 7 days a week on the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network, now officially broadcasting every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So do take note of that. Make sure you're subscribed so you get those messages, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, stand by for the broadcast coming up next. What they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. Still time to call a friend. We'll be right back.
Notice for the listener. This program is an online class and a workshop for our friends and family. So please, no grandstanding or large postings. Thank you for your cooperation. And welcome to Ask Desert Owl on the Forbidden History series. It's good to be back again. I'm Ninja Cat, and I'd like to welcome everybody back to the program and any new listeners as well, and say g'day to Anna. I hope you're doing well over there. Okay, and peace and light always. This is a live call-in program. We welcome live callers and viewer participation. Call in with your questions or comments. Desert loves answering questions. And any first-time caller will get a free PDF of the Handbook of Christianity, one of Desert's beautiful books, or a PDF of your choice of any of the books over on Amazon. Desert's translations, they're absolutely beautiful. Must reads, every single one. So please check out the link in the description below all of these programs. The call-in number is 608-566-7295. That's 608-566-7295. And if I forget to put that in the chat, don't be afraid to remind me. If I forget to put that in the chat, it is also down below the video in the description. Or you can Skype Ninja Cat, all one word, Ninja Cat, and look for the white circle with the purple Ninja Cat in it with a sword. Okay, in essence, Desert discusses the history of the world and how the unseen hand has been running it from the very beginning of recorded history. Who they are and how they have founded all of the first great civilizations that are found all around the world, about who the giants really were, and the ancient Aryan caste and slave systems, the priesthoods, the anti-gravity V-manners, the Earth-based misnomered UFOs, which are all man-made, the control of all forms of communications, commerce, religion, mass media, pseudo-politics, etc. It is the grand deception that is used to control all of mankind, and all instituted through the four main religions of the world in particular, and used as their grand cover. Their cybercode has been revealed to him because he has become adept within the study of the ancient alphabets, communications, symbolism, religion, custom, law, cosmology, and mythology, not to mention the fallacy of today's political science and pseudoscience in particular. He can also define the true nature of their warfare, their shell game of bringing one civilization up for their temporary use and then taking it down for the next 500-year generational cycle, as symbolized by the classical burning up of the phoenix. Desert discusses the ultimate in mind control, an ancient art, and the financial control, the secret societies and their blood occult rituals, and how they wage all wars throughout all time, through the nations that they have created, which are all imaginations, plantations, and mere corporations. They have taken blood oaths to surrender their self-will and mind to their blind goddess, who has demanded our blood from the very beginning of time. They communicate to their minions through the movies, TV, print media, and religion, while he can see, read, and interpret most all of it based on the ancient communication and symbol. It all says that they are using us for our ingenuity, for our collective constructive labour, for experimentation, and in the end, they intend to kill us all. They have given us full notice of what they are doing and what they fully intend to do, while all of the general population, the sheeple, they merely go there to be entertained. The New World Order is the Old World Order from the very beginning of recorded history. There is a major cosmic natural disaster that is about to happen on Earth, and they know it because they have engineered all of it. while they are cleverly leaving us in the dark, hence the reason that they have built hundreds of underground bases all around the world, while they are leaving all of the people to remain unprepared, uninformed, and above ground, so that when it all comes, the mere 5% who will survive above ground will die from the weaknesses and disease that has been generated from all of the poisons that they have been feeding us, from the chemical aerosol spraying of our sky, to fluoride in the water, to tainted vaccines, to fake food, etc., etc. They have enslaved us all at birth by the clever means of deception, because we most all are their cattle, chattel, property, and because they merely wanted to harness our labour, what they always needed, which is what backs most of the world's currency through the birth certificate, a Wall Street security. But they are all through with us now, as it is written in stone, as it can be seen written in the Georgia Guidestones. It says we are a virus upon the earth. To know the truth is to be empowered and to be prepared. We may not be able to stop what has been done and what is about to happen, but the innocent and decent people on planet Earth deserve to know. And now, here's Desert Owl.
And welcome to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you. And I hope everybody's doing well out there. These are tough times. We hear continually about people being injured by the spikes that they're getting in their arms that are doing them harm, and they're intended to do harm. They're made to do harm. And it's rather tragic, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick, I want to give a thank you to Sean, wherever you are out there. Sean, thank you so much for your kind donation. Ninja got it, and then she passes it on to the ministry funds, and that will help. There's a couple books I needed to get, and that's certainly gonna help out. Okay, so and actually, it's, to use a metaphor, it felt like a shot in the arm, because we have an idiom that somebody bursts your bubble, right? That's an idiom, because if you said that in another land, they wouldn't know what you were talking about, probably. Although the idea is probably very universal. And to have your bubble burst is, to deflate whatever it is that you may have been thinking or involved with. And so it seems like that I do a lot of bursting bubbles over here, and probably step on every toe on everybody's foot, because of the things I say and the things I talk about, whether it's about the real meaning behind the name of Jesus Christ, but you got to know it's not the real name. You got to know that there's an Aramaic name that has nothing to do with this Indo-Germanic nasty word. And same with, Yeshua, again, another nasty word in the Babylonian Talmud. And so I talk about these things. Somebody new coming in, could literally, it's the old, another idiom is stepping on the sacred cow. It's somebody's sacred cow, and how dare you step on it? But yet we're told that we're supposed to be ascending to a higher level of consciousness and awareness. The Schultres, which is the original word for scripture. Scripture means skip truth. In the Schultres, in Revelations, which is correctly the Apocalypse, which means the epic of light. So they changed that name from Apocalypse, the epic of light, which they should translate it in English, I think. The last book of our Schultres scriptures, skip truth, is Revelation, which is correctly Apocalypse, which is correctly the epic of light. So they do all these switch outs, like they changed, the 4 books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John from Evangelion, which means the star message of enlightenment, to go spell, fool, go spell, because you can't go spell, because you don't know the meaning of the words. Oh, go ahead and look it up in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, because that's where they change all the meaning of words there too. There's nowhere they've not touched, even in the Indo-Germanic dictionaries, they only go so far. Then they use the same code for a certain word that should have been properly adjusted based on the original. But so everything has some level of control going behind it. In publishing, in scholastics, and yeah. So I guess I love bursting bubbles. Because I had my bubble bursted a long time ago, and the key is how you unlock the mystery is you got to know that you're being scammed and lied to by the powers that be. The beast is called the beast system. I think once a beast, always a beast. Never going to change that. Uh, just like I learned, a little bit more about that King James Babel. And in that King James Babel, we find out now, I didn't know this, but thanks to Robert Sefer, he does some wonderful presentations. He pointed out that the King James was published in 1611 or thereabouts, never officially authorized, no official bringing it in ceremony. Just so there it is one day. Oh, it's authorized. Oh, okay, yeah. But yet now we find out that not only was it a product of the Scottish Rite Masonry founder, King James I of England, King James V of Scotland, founder of International Freemasonry, put in the word Lucifer and the number 666 in Revelation's Apocalypse, and because the number of the beast is 6, not 66, and that's called the black sun. They labeled the sun as being the beast. Well, the sun is not the beast because 666 represents the sun. 66 represents the earth, and 6 is the number of man. And so man is the beast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm bursting another bubble here. Man is the serpent. He is the enemy, man, not some invisible creature that flies through the air at night and you can't see, feel, or touch. You have a psychological problem. Psychological. Yeah, there we just lost one. They popped in real quick and they're gone. Well, and they just heard desert. Whoa, what was that? I'm out of here. All I had to say was psychological problem. So anyway, I'm looking at the numbers on the side if you didn't figure it out. So we have I've been doing broadcasting for 30 years, ladies and gentlemen, and everything I've ever tried to do, there's somebody come along trying to do it. And finally, after we got to YouTube, of course, we found out then it's YouTube, and they're not going to let us have a voice here, just like they did it to all the other great researchers that are now come and gone. And but let's get back to the King James, okay? So it was published actually in the city of London. Whoa, when I heard that, it was like, okay, you don't have to tell me anything else. All right. That's the city of Jewish banking. And now the cliffhanger is, where does Bill Gates come from? Oh, well, his father not only controlled Planned Parenthood, can you say controlled genocide? But his attorney father, can you say Lloyd's of London? Barrister, British accredited Regency, bar attorney? Well, Bill Gates also, his father, not only is in control of Planned Parenthood and a genocide program, but, oh my, he's actually the head of one of the 12 branches of the Federal Reserve Bank. Federal Reserve Bank. You see a pattern here? King James in the city of London, Jewish banking. Bill Gates wants to stick it to you. Family-owned Federal Reserve Family Branch Bank. Federal Reserve Bank. Can you say bankruptcy? Can you say War and Emergency Powers Act, 1933? You were declared the enemy, and they threatened to put you in prison if you didn't hand over your gold when it's private property and nobody can lawfully take your gold from you. nor threaten you to take your gold unless they're a criminal. The Titanic was taken down by the Jesuits, the Jesuits, founded by Jews, for the Vatican. Took them down to the bottom because they got the wealthy in America a free passage on the unsinkable ship, and then they take it down full steam ahead, 8 warnings to slow down, and they strafe the side of an iceberg. When if you're going to hit an iceberg, you want to hit it nose on, so you don't ruin all the other side of the ship. But they had their trick lined out. So the King James, Jewish banking, Babylonian Talmud front. These are the haters of mankind. The haters of mankind, ladies and gentlemen, and they are here to do us harm. They hate our guts. They declared us the enemy. They took over through a fraudulent bankruptcy. How can the wealthiest land resource on the planet, practically between Canada and the U.S., be bankrupt when your wealth is in your populace and in your environment, your natural resources? And they used it all up, and they destroyed the ozone layer. And people don't get it. Well, it's going to get real exciting real soon, ladies and gentlemen, real soon. And when nobody cares, they're going to care. And that's when they're going to be tearing your door down because they didn't prepare and they didn't care. So it's really interesting. So anyway, so King James Version, how come, because they're brain dead. That's why they follow it, bow down. Oh, King James government, love you government. Even just like the 27 teeny weeny little books we have in what we call the New Testament, were authorized by the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire. And so you want the government, King James, Constantine the Great, who wasn't so great, these creeps, you want them giving you your scriptures, skip truth, Schultres. You want these people to give you your Schultres instead of being able to put your thinking cap on and see and read it for yourself and find out what it really says, what really happened, how they did it, who, what, where, when, why, and how, then be set free. But instead, they heard something on YouTube about the flat earth. Here's another bubble to be busted. Flat earth, and all of a sudden they got flat earth religion. I know because I heard it on YouTube. Yeah, it's got to be true. I'm overwhelmed today, ladies and gentlemen, because people don't get it. Just like here's a note, one of the cards I was going to bring up. The Geneva Bible. Well, of course, that's banking again, isn't it? Switzerland, Jewish. Can you say Mitzrayim? Egyptian? Khazarian? Nazare? Geneva means hatred. So the Geneva Bible then must mean the Bible of hatred. Oh, love. Remember, they reverse everything. Love is hatred. Hatred is love. They love you to death. And Geneva means hatred. That's where they decided all these years, where all the leaders came together and they decided where they were going to wage war, how they would wage war as honorable men. Man means criminal and sinner, and something worse in the Babylonian Talmud. So you don't want to be a men. Ashan. You want to be an Ashan. The royal eye. That's what Ashan means. The royal eye. Are you a royal eye? Can you see? So they decide where they're going to wage war on mankind in Geneva, the city called hatred. What's interesting, though, here's what's interesting about this Hebrew definition of Geneva, because literally in Geneva, and I'll type it in there, you see it's 2 words, Geneva, generations, G-E-N-E-R-A-T-I-O-N-S. Generations of E-V-E. There it is. The generations of Eve. So they and it specifically pegs the Aryans. You know, specifically, even though the Brahmin, which means his original word is sovereign, corrupted into Brahmin, uh, you know, they're Aryan. They're the ones who enslave mankind. So no matter what, the generations of mankind is the implication, no doubt. Because if they hate the Aryans that bad, well, you know they hate everybody else a lot worse. If you know, because they're Aryans, but they hate their Aryan brothers, you know, because it's all one for them and all for them, and for nobody else. Here's an interesting one. Charles Kloss out of Australia was doing a wonderful presentation on words the other day, and he actually held up his Polish Bible, and right there, while he's talking about one word, I see the word devil, and there it is. So now I've got an order in for a Polish. Did I say Polish Bible? Polish dictionary. He holds up the Polish dictionary, and there, while he's talking about one word, is the devil right there in the D lineup, and I stopped it and looked at the definition, and there was devil. Let me do this one in here. That's why getting other dictionaries are so important, ladies and gentlemen. So important. Okay, is D-I-A-B-E-L. Diabel, and it's like, okay, how did I miss that? Because I didn't reverse engineer into the code they use. I always back engineer, you know, taking away from the corruptions. The B is always a V typically, you know. But yet I didn't think of, when I looked at the word devil, to bring it forward into a corruption of the B and the I, a major corruption, into the E. And look what you get. You get the D-I-V-I-D-E-D, woman. Bel is woman. Bel is the woman. She's the belle at the ball. She's dancing. She's spinning around because everything spins, and she's the belle at the ball. And so dia, the die is the cut, right? D-I-A is cut. It's a die. You dissect something, right? And so it's the divided woman. Why? Because we have two women. Originally we had one woman, and she was the virgin light of creation. And then once man, criminal and sinner, came along, then he changed the nature of the woman into a whore, from a virgin to a whore. And because they love the woman, you see, they don't love women. They kill women. They enslave women. They love the woman. The woman is Gaia, but in the original, most primitive, and the one they hid from us, is the Freya, which is also Fey. Okay, Fey. You see it in Spanish as F-E, and then you see F-A-Y, like in Edgar Allan Poe's The Island of the Fae, but then correctly P-H-A-Y. But what it's missing the royal vowel, a secret vowel, the letter R, P-H-R-A-Y. Oh, with the A at the end, I forgot. Freya, there it is. And when you say I have faith, you're saying I have the Freya, because it's the same word. It's just been corrupted. I have the Freya, meaning I am good to go in the virgin light. I have light on my side. I have faith. The victory, faith, meaning conviction. Which means victory. Victory of light. Okay? So you must know how the game is played ladies and gentlemen, how the game is played. Oh, and then oh, and then there's one more they had in the dictionary. Under devil, they had or diabel. Diabel, they had diablica. Diablica means devil of a woman. How about that, huh? Considering the Luciferian occult, right? Through their Lucy, right in our old covenant scriptures, right? Through change the numbering and in the Epic of Light, Apocalypse, Revelation. Devil of a woman. Yeah, I guess that whore is a devil of a woman. They're the devil of a woman because woman is matter, female, and their energy stinks. Their energy is a repulsive. Their energy is death, ladies and gentlemen. They are the dead feeding on the dead. So I want to do a read today. Remember that communication is everything. Without the ability to communicate, something terrible happens, and that's nothing. Nothing can happen without communication. It's the number one science, the most important science in the world, and it's the science they took control of. So, right, and and when Ninja read the opener, and I don't know what that means, Ninja. So, but anyway, chattel property, just as she got the end, we are chattel property. And I listened to that and said, well, yeah, we are chattel. That when I just saw the gravity and join the dots. Good to have you, bro. Okay. And so, when I heard her read that and I said, well, yeah, it is true. You see, that's why they call us herd. They talk about our herd immunity, right? Herd immunity. There's herd. Okay. I still don't get it. Herd immunity. So they're calling us cattle. And so they legally, I don't care, anybody can talk all the sovereignty they want, but you find out when you listen to them, they're still slaves. But legally, we signed in. They first enslaved us with the birth certificate, monetized it, put over $1 million into circulation. And then you started signing at the bottom line, sign here, sign here. And, but there's only one sovereignty. Okay. It doesn't matter whether the scriptures say, it doesn't matter whether you're a slave or whether you're free. No matter what state you're in, you can serve the great spirit of light. But people, there's only one sovereignty, and that is with the sovereign, the one who made all things. That's the only true sovereignty. Okay? So if you don't know who you are, where you are, why you are, and when you are, then you don't know anything. And you have to be set free. So I'm going to do a read. Ninja, if you want to put up the page, title page of the Gospel of Thomas, I'm going to do a read, but I just wanted to do a mini presentation on that real quick. And I'm now doing 3 books at one time. I'm always a glutton for punishment and can't do just one book at a time. So because everything dovetails into everything, and some of my favorite works right now I'm involved with in transliterating. And so as a result, it's really great energy is taken off here. And so this is the Gospel of Thomas. The title is actually right above Tolma. It says Gospel of Thomas, and I just couldn't fit it all on the screen. I wanted you to be able to see some words here. And so look at the word Tolma. Remember, I just talked about words and how they fooled us and tricked us, and that's the first thing you got to know, that a game has been played on us, ladies and gentlemen. And if you can see that, now when I suspected it, when I was still in my mid-20s, I suspected, wait a minute, I think something smells rotten here, and something rotten in Denmark. That's the Jesuits. And I've got to prove it out. And so I looked up the words Adam and Eve in the Strong's Concordance. And don't you know, I found something really profound, ladies and gentlemen, really profound, that Adam and Eve are not in Strong's Concordance, but it is the other half of their name. The names that they gave us are abbreviated, okay, just like this. Okay, EVE. And then it was a corruption anyway, but it was Chi, CHI. Okay, so there's Chi was in the Strongs, and Eve is what they tell us in our translations. So they give us one thing in English, and they give us something else in the Hebrew, but it's really like this: KHAYBAT, silent T. That's the Indo-Germanic. That's the original. Keva. So Chi is K, and K is the fiery keys. The fiery keys. Okay, that's the prime meaning. There's alternative meaning, like, chi for life, right? So you're changing the vowels. When you change the vowels with the prime root, the K, it's really KH, not CH, you know. And the key is what unlocks things, right? The key. You need the keys. So Adam is dictum. So there's where you get for dictate, a dictionary, slang on a term for male creation, and so we got to look at these things, because I discovered a major deal this week by going into the Gospel of Thomas, because it is not the Gospel of Thomas. Thomas actually has nothing to do with it, and his name never was Thomas. They call him Judas Thomas. There's your ass again, but it's Yuta Toma in the Aramaic. But what they really did is they played a trick on us in this book, because Toma is an anagram for Adam, but in the what we call the Gospel of Thomas, it's most likely the Gospel of the, I'll do it like this: Gospel of the ATOM, the Gospel of the Adam, ladies and gentlemen. And the Adam is Yeshua. He is the first made. The first made. Oh, I blew that one, didn't I? Let me cancel that. Oh, wait a minute. I just tried to remove that. Why didn't it go? Oh, great. They've done more tricks to us now, right? All right. They've done more tricks. I can't delete it now.
It's gone on my end.
Oh, it's gone now, finally. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. my computer is going slow today. All right. So I was watching an interesting program last night before bed, just to fill my mind with more esoteric thought, and it was the opposition of Christianity with evolution. Whereas both are relevant, because we see all life evolving, right? That's a story for another day. Man was not evolved. Man was spontaneously generated by the Freya. Okay, so he was made by the great spirit of life. The Freya made his physical form, and then the spirit came down and breathed into his nostril, the breath of life. So two entities form man, the male and the female. Okay, matter, physical form, then spirit, breath of life. So they were talking about the Big Bang. They took us at the end of the program to, in Switzerland, the CERN, the giant collider, where they said they want to split the atom apart and look at what it was like at the beginning of time, the beginning of the Big Bang. Yeah, that sounds like their kind of violence, doesn't it? They're always banging on us. But the truth is there was no Big Bang. You see, remember, it's a theory. That's a theory because they cannot prove that. It's like saying, yeah, it was just a garbage dump out there and then it exploded and all these different pieces flew everywhere. Does that sound like beauty? Does that sound like harmony? Does that sound like the way Yahweh, the great father of light, would do it? Of course not. Of course not, because he spoke a word. He spoke a word and it was like this, which is correctly like this. You see? He breathed and then out came sound wave. And out of the sound wave came particles. The particles were formed by his breath, and starting with the atom, which we cannot even see. Between the atom and the sun represents the atom. It's the garden of the atoms. That's the original word for the Garden of Eden. It's the sun is the garden of the atoms. There's two gardens, an upper garden and a lower garden. And and so it's the garden of atoms. So we're in the middle between, how small the atom is, right? They say if you, this was on a program when they were talking about the atom one day. I saw it, never forgot. They said if you took a glass of water, 8 ounces of water, there are more atoms in that 8 ounces of water than there are glasses of water in all the oceans of the world combined. Can you imagine that there are more atoms in an 8-ounce glass of water than there are glasses of water in all the oceans of the world? What a mind blower, right? So what does atom mean? I'm saying that this book is not the Gospel of Thomas. It is the Gospel of the atom. And what do you get with atom? Creation sound. I didn't know if I could fit all that, so I did it like that. Creation sound. The atom, the AT is creation. It's the alphabet. If you cannot communicate, you can't make anything. You can't do anything. AT is creation. CREATION. And Om, you heard about that. They got Christians that hate this word. Oh, yeah, you're going to use the word Om. I'm not talking to you, man. No, it is, Om is SOUND. Om, creation sound. Creation sound, ladies and gentlemen. You see? And so the Father breathed. It says that in the first 3 verses of our corrupted scriptures. So inaccurate. It's amazing. Because it said that the earth was not, I'd have to open it up now to paraphrase it. But the bottom line is the earth, in the beginning, the earth was not yet formed in the void. It's because the way they said it was, the earth was void of anything, but the earth was not formed, is the way it should say it. And because there was a time when the earth did not exist, obviously. The earth was not yet formed within the void of the cosmos. And then the Great Spirit, as it moved across the cosmic waters, not the ocean. You see, I always thought it was the ocean when I was little. No, it's the cosmic sea, the great expanse up above, the upper reflecting the lower reflecting the upper, like the atom and the sun. And we are right in the middle between size. That's one thing I didn't finish. The size. We are right in the middle between sun and atom. We're right in the middle between size differential. We're right in the middle. It's amazing how the Great Spirit designed everything, ladies and gentlemen. There is no theory. We have to get away from the nonsense and the corruptions, purify our hearts and our minds, and the one who made all things will reveal all things for you. It is revealed. It's impossible to figure it out. It's revealed. That's why they want to talk about Big Bangs. They're all a bunch of liars. There is no science. It's only propaganda. That's a good quote. The only science that, write this one down, Ninja. The only science that exists is propaganda. I gotta write that down.
The only science that exists is propaganda. Is that it?
Yeah.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Hmm?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm trying to hang in there with my voice. I stopped doing it 6 days a week because it seemed that we, other than Anna and Join the Dots, and Spicy was coming in, we don't get any promotion, and so it's frustrating. And I realized I wanted to do more of the translating because it's so important, and I'm not going to prove it to you now because I now can show that how the game is played. Ninja, go to the next graphic. All right, let's go to the next graphic. It's the greatest show on earth, ladies and gentlemen, how they have tricked our minds and how we, and when we came into the world, we wouldn't think they'd lie to us. My preacher wouldn't lie to me. My teacher wouldn't lie to me. My politician wouldn't kiss my baby and then kiss me off. No. So let me get a sip here, and I think the graphic will be changing. There it is. Okay, the atom, the gospel of the atom, ladies and gentlemen. But really, it's the gospel. It could also be called the gospel of the duplicate, because that's what I think it really means. Not the gospel of Thomas, the gospel of the duplicate. See, the way they confuse things is, I know you must have heard it by now. Oh, Thomas was called the twin, and therefore, he was probably the twin brother of Jesus. That's how they're pitching it, right? Give me a break. And because we don't know better, and we're listening to those important people on the documentary, they always get those people in the nice dress clothing, and they're the authority. They got a doctorate in front of their name, and right. And so everybody's listening to them. They must know something because I didn't read anything. I'm at a disadvantage because I don't know. So here they are coming. Oh yeah, Thomas means twin, and Jesus had a twin brother, and yeah, but they, and so it's all wrong, but you don't know the answer. And here is the answer for you today, ladies and gentlemen. What it really is all about. It's not the duplicate. Well, excuse me, it is the duplicate. I was thinking of twin. I was confused with the word. They're calling it the twin, right? The twin. But it is the duplicate, not the twin, because I am another you, right? That's a classic statement. I am another you. And so I'm a duplicate. We're all duplicates. The atom is the beginning. Yeshua is the first atom. And after that, everything was a duplicate, you see. Everything was a duplicate. And so it's about duplication. And it's about another you. Because that's the great mystery of creation. It's about duplication. I'm wondering if that D word has a problem. I'm thinking about it, duplicate, the D. But for the moment, we'll go with it. But so now let's look at the word, because they've tricked us with words. And when we know the meaning of the word, because I've got a piece of the scripture, and I'm going to read the few verses. I only did 7 verses so far from the gospel, misnomered Gospel of Thomas. And I'm looking for something here. Yeah. And what I have also, I have all the books for research, and I've got for the last 45 years, I've had the 2 volumes of the New Testament Apocrypha that came out of Germany a scholarly work, mind blower, how these people wrote and what they did. And and so in there, I have the missing piece of the Gospel of Thomas, and it says that in the preamble, these are all mysterious breathings. These are the all mysterious breathings that the Asia fire, Veta life giver, Yeshua sparked with Yuta, the atom. And so I'm going to show you now how these words have nothing to do with Judas Thomas in principle. It's a double play. Okay, it's in other words, it could be one or the other, right? Because his name was he was nicknamed the Atom, just like Yeshua gave everybody a nickname. Simon became not Peter but Kephe. That's a nickname. It means the chief. He was going to be the leader after Yeshua was gone. You see, and Kephe, the keys of fire of the virgin light, the keys of fire of the virgin light. Kephe. There's the Fe, the Freya. Okay. So what does it say here? Of which I, Matthew, have written down. As I heard them, they all spoke together. So they're trying to tell us in the phony introduction, they took out Matthew because they had a problem. And the problem is with the document itself and the title, because it is the Gospel of the Atom, aka the Gospel of the Duplicate. You see how it's a cosmic higher thought. All of a sudden, it's got deep meaning. The Gospel of the Atom, the Gospel of the Duplicate. Because what Matthew just said here was, of which I, Matthew, have written down as I heard them, as they all spoke together. So you won't see that in any of the Gospels of Thomas, other than in the missing fragments in the New Testament Apocrypha, Volume 1. Okay? That's where it is. They gathered up all the fragments. So this is what they took out. They filtered our shulteres, our skip truth, right? Skip truth. And by the way, I want to welcome any new listeners on the program today. If your head is spinning and you're trying to figure out what this guy's talking about, then just hang in there, okay? Because we go down rabbit holes apparently nobody else is going down, and get to the core of the onion where it's really sweet. It's not bitter, okay? It's really sweet. So we have a lot of back programming you can listen to get up to speed, but we're talking about the Indo-Germanic, which is superior to all other forms by recognizing the truth that like all the modern European tongues of France, Portugal, Spanish, English, Finnish, German, Deutsch, whatever, Romanian, all Indo-Germanic, Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, Latin, all Indo-Germanic. You see, they divided us by through the priesthood, putting lines in the sand, creating separate nations when it was all one tongue. This was all engineered by the Vatican, by the Roman Empire, by the priesthood, because they wanted us to look different, sound different, act different, be different, hate each other, divided and conquered. Easier to control a small group than all at one time. You see. So let's look at the word. First of all, the logo, you see, is the atom. And it is represented in the biggest, the sun, the logo, the atom, the garden. That's the garden of the atom. We came from the light. So we have to go back to the light. It doesn't get any simpler than that, ladies and gentlemen. But yet, because of the propaganda about sun worship, when from all my investigation, I don't know any culture from the past that worshiped the sun. But instead, they recognize, as it says in the first 3 verses of Genesis, that the spirit, the great breath, moved across the cosmic water, and then breathed into a star. And it was ignited, and there is light. Not was light, there is light. It is here right now. Okay, well, thank you for the clarification on that, Anna. Very good. That's one thing would have to talk about to know more. But anyway, so we're talking about Thomas, which when we look in the Aramaic, and I'll just look at my notes as we go down. We're going to go down under the logo, which is the sun. And it's also Yeshua. Both Yeshua and the sun are the logo. A sun is a sun, right? Let's type it in there. A sun is a sun, and they are both the logo, the symbol. Okay, these are symbols. And when you go to the when you go to an orchestra, and then they're going to clash the cymbals, what are they? They're two round discs, symbolic of the sun and moon. The cymbals clash, boom, the om, the sound goes out like creation. And it took the sun and the moon to create life on earth with the spirit. Okay, and that's how it goes. I'm getting a Skype here. Okay, great. Thank you, Shell. Okay, and let me just tell her thank you. Thumbs up. All right. Yeah. Okay, so where were we here? So creation sound. I got to lower the Skype again. All right. So Thomas, starting on the first line after the logo, we see Thomas, Toma. I got to clean my glasses off. Hang on a minute. Bad for radio, but we're the real public radio, ladies and gentlemen. They got all the money. We don't have any money, but we get it done on a song, a wing, and a prayer. Okay, Ninja's seeing things now. Oh, from Lynn. Okay, she's listening in. She's not on with us. Okay, so duplicate is dupe trick.
She didn't want to interrupt your typing in the chat.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, thank you for that, Lynn. And so Thomas is a corruption. Now let's start with the note. Top line. Note: Thomas is Toma in the Aramaic. But what my contention is that they reversed the word. He wasn't being called Toma. He was being called the atom, just like Kephe was, or Simon was Kephe. They changed it to Peter. The Vatican did, but it was Kephe, the fiery keys of the woman. That means the knowledge to unlock things. And so it was the same with others, like Matthew was Levi. That's the bridge. He's the bridge. The bridge is the priesthood, symbolic of Levi means the way. The way, what way? Well, they didn't own anything. The priesthood was totally sovereign. They didn't have to work. Everything was given to them, 10% or yeah, it was 10%, I think, right? You know, from all the land, produce. They got it. They were special. And they represented how we were supposed to be in the way. Levi. On a bridge. The earth is the bridge. And we're only here for a moment, but instead people are buying everything up. They want to get a big house. They want to get a new car. They're planning on retirement. They're doing all this stuff, and we're on a bridge. We're supposed to get off the bridge because the bridge is going down. So Toma, excuse me, let me cough real quick. So Toma, in the Greek is Didymos. Interesting, see, because they're showing you in that terminology means duplicate and not twin. Did it? What do we say with ditto, right? D-I-D-D-O. Oh, wasn't in the thing? D-I-D, I think it's D-I-D-O, but I don't know. I spell it D-I-D-D-O. Ditto, right? For more than one. More than one. Oh, geez. Let me try this again. Yeah, after I remove it, it pops back. That's interesting. M-O-R-E, then on. Excuse me. Okay, so Didymos, also known as the duplicate, the atom as it is in the original thought. That's what it is. They reversed. They didn't want to. The trick out was they took the word atom and they put the a at the end and they get Toma. But he is the atom. He is the duplicate. Obviously, Yeshua, if he's going to give him nicknames, they're going to be nicknames that would tell us a story, right? It would tell us a story about who we are, where we are, when we are, and why we are. So in the Greek, didymos, and if we go back into the prime root forms, dotemo, eshan, doteme, do, datemo eshan, meaning duplicate. The dot. You see, the dot is significant as it's coming up here, right? Now, next is the Aramaic again, given in the name Judas. Well, so he's called Judas Thomas, right? But if we look at Judas now, because we just talked about Thomas, and we revealed that it's really the atom, it was a nickname given to him that had an important meaning behind it. He gave all these people names because it was important. And so Judas, we go, is a corruption with the ass on the end of it, and it becomes Judah. But that's a corruption with the J because that letter didn't exist just over 200 years ago. So we see it's Judah, but correctly it's Yutha because it's about the youth, the power of that energy of being young, right? You felt like you were immortal at age 17 and 18, and you had so much energy. But in the silent, if you silence the A, because it's a consonant, not a vowel, then you get, and you can change it out. It's okay. You can switch it out because it has a double play in the duality, you see? And so Yuta is youth, but the TH became corrupted with the breath. That's the breath, the TH. The royal breath is what TH symbolizes. Okay? And it was, let me just type it in there. Okay? Royal. Okay, royal breath. So they corrupted it into Yud. And Yud means the dot. And so once again, just like the atom, what you cannot see with your naked eye, the atom is represented by the sun, and the sun is representing the garden of the atoms that brought forth creation. It is represented as a Yud or a Yuta or youth, which is the dot. The dot, the period, and so let's in symbolism, in all the symbols that we use to write, let's ask the question. Got to be asking the right questions. Of all, whether you're talking about the letters or the symbols like the ampersand or the colon or the comma or the semicolon or the period, what is the most important symbol of them all? It is, or let's put it this way, what is the most powerful symbol of them all? It is, put it in the chat, the dot, ladies and gentlemen, because the period represents periyud, something great. Periyud means, peri means fat, it means great. Yud is the dot, a great dot. Why? Because it stops everything. It's the only letter that stops everything. It's so powerful, being the smallest, it stops everything. You see, the dot rules, the Yud. So the idea is that then when he's called Judas Thomas or Judas Didymos, he's being called the dot of the atom. He's the dot of the atom. So So in the introduction, it could be read like this. These are all the mysteries. These are all the mysterious breathings that the Aish of Fire, Veta Life Giver, Yeshua, sparked with the dot of the atoms, which I, Matthew, have written down as I heard them and as they all spoke together, meaning all of them, not just who we call Thomas, but all of the followers. This was Matthew was writing down because there was groups of them also asking questions in this dialogue of 114 verses. 114 verses in this pseudo Gospel of Thomas. So let's do a sample read here. I want to share with you because I've actually done several trial runs over the last decades of Thomas, and I knew I wasn't ready. I was getting there on the journey, but it was so far away yet. It took me 50 years of study. I've been studying now for 50 years since age 14. Started with history, then it rolled over into the scriptures at age 16. So by age 16, I was reading scriptures and trying to unravel the mysteries of life. And so I've got to put this over here, I guess, for the moment. Yeah, it's been a long journey, ladies and gentlemen. I have to say, it's been a very long journey. And Ninja, go back now. No, that's okay. We'll just stay right there with that graphic for the moment. And so the preamble I just read. So now let's go into, I'm going to go into the first verse. And if anybody wants a sample of this, because any of the work that we do here is available as a sample. Yeah, we do need support. But if you cannot afford any size donation, then just tell us and we'll get the document in PDF on email. Okay, this is it's a work that is transcending. The idea behind these Aish of Wars is to give light, and so let there be light, ladies and gentlemen. And we are breathing. We're breathing here, wanting to share this with you because hey, there's Lynn. Okay, Lynn, good to have you. So we got a poor audio quality, but now we're up to 10. 5x5. Okay, it's good. Thank you. All right, so here we are, the gospel of the atom or the gospel of the duplicate. And both would be correct because the word is implying duplication, the atom. The atom. And here we go. Freed from death. Verse 1. So this is how the Veta Life Giver breathes. Whoever uncovers the mystery and interpretation of this breathing will no longer experience the death of exile. Seek the truth. Yeshua breathes. Let the one who seeks the truth not stop looking until he finds it. But when he finds the truth, he will become challenged. Then after he becomes challenged, he will become strengthened. And this is when he will be able to rule over the all of this lower creation and find the Shalom of rest, the royal East, with the one hiding within. Excuse me for a moment. The kingdom of heaven, which is correctly the royal domain of the sun. Heaven is a code for the sun, the sky, the cosmos, and the evening, sunset, actually, the sunset, even. Yeshua breathes. Verse 3. Yeshua breathes. If those who are leading you declare before you, behold, you must see and read it for yourself. That's what behold means. The kingdom of heaven, the royal domain of the sun, is in the sky. Then the birds of the air must hold a precedence over you. Or if others breathe before you, it is beyond the great ocean. Then the fish must have the precedence over you. Or if they breathe, it is within the secret society. Do not go with them. For the royal domain of the great house of the sun, the Zan, is to be found deep inside of you. And when you can see this, then you will see it revealed, and you will know that it is all around you. When you have come to identify with your true nature, then you will know, and then you will begin to comprehend that you are the offspring and the royal eyes of creation, a seed of the Asia fire, the Vata life giver, and the eye he is breathing, the great Father of light, the great Father of all light. But if you are not willing to take a look at yourself, got to take a note here. Excuse me. If you're not willing to take a look at yourself and to know who you really are, then you must remain in poverty. And it will be you who is that state of poverty. The kingdom of heaven, the royal domain of the Son, must be pursued as it must be searched for. And let's go to our first break right now, and then we'll finish it on the other side. I had the other document, the Gospel of Mark. I wanted to read what we hadn't shared yet, but we'll see how we go when we get back. Okay, so going to a break, ladies and gentlemen, and glad you're tuned in right here. Okay, was I gone that you didn't, you kept talking? I'm sorry. Was I gone?
Okay, I was on mute. Oh, I said everything beautifully and I was on mute.
This whole thing, there's been no sound.
Yeah. Okay, take a break, Desert, and
Okay.
I will.
No, we're just gonna go. Let's close it out. Let's just go to the Vincent song, okay, and let it go with that. All right. So nobody told us. I guess I lost sound after the. Okay. Yeah, after the music. Okay. I've lost my voice anyway, so it's a good point to stop. Let's just go ahead and stop it here and be done with it. Okay. So thank you everybody for stopping by and tuning in. I got to mute out. And okay, so we'll try it again on Wednesday, and just wish everyone all the best out there. Safe weekend, and we'll talk later on.
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils, catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met, the ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never